Hello, friends. My name is Aslam Sheikh, your host for this evening. I'm a founder and CEO of Alif. It's a platform to promote the global perspective of education and career. This is our 41st webinar series, which we call its Career Talk, and broadcasted live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn channel. Every Friday, we aim to bring in the valuable speakers to discuss the topic that is important for you and for your career. Those who are joining us first time, let me quickly share with you who we are and what we do. Okay, so here's the screen in front of you. Our company name is Alif. Alif is the first alphabet in Arabic and Urdu language that signifies the beginning and specifically the beginning of education. And hence, that's the reason why we kept this name, because for most of you, it would be the first time travel abroad and starting a new journey in the education field. This is our core team, including me. About our company, we established in 2008, 2009. Till now, we have counseled 23,000 students. We maintain 100% admission ratio to the universities we represent and 95% visa ratio. We represent the universities across from 14 countries. As a company, we are affiliated with ISF and WebAuth. These are the international education body, and there are lots of other bodies to which we are either the member or the affiliate or certified consultant. We also maintain and offer the 100% guarantee to the admission. It means that we only take the applications to the suitable institute when we believe and when we have that your profile is matching with that particular university requirement. These are some of the universities where our students are studying across the different worlds for bachelor's, master's, as well as for their post-graduation program. We also assist the students to scholarship. Until now, we have helped the students to get 23 crore Indian rupees worth scholarship across various different heads for the different programs for our students who are studying abroad. The scholarship could be as low as $1,500, as you can see some of our scholarship recipients in front of you, or it could be as high as 100% scholarship in case of Devan Nair, who got MS program in Germany in one of the TU universities. As a company, we offer the career counseling to students, to the parents who are confused what to do in their career and how to go about. We also help the students for IELTS coaching, and you must be knowing that this is the English test, which is compulsory, almost compulsory in almost all the universities where you're looking to go abroad. We also help the students, of course, for studying abroad. So right from student profiling to application to visa process. We also help you for the education loan. We have got the official tie-up with some of the good banks, including State Bank of India, Corporation Bank, wherein we can help you to get the education loan, visa process, ticketing, foreign exchange, pre-departure session, and your accommodation arrangement. So end-to-end solutions you would get through us. The countries which we represent are in front of you. So across Europe, North America, Middle East, and Asia Pacific, we have got different countries whereby our students are studying. We also offer the Edge Out program, which is the optional program for the students who wants to get accustomed with the foreign culture. They want to know more about the basic etiquettes because most of the time you're traveling first time. So we have got range of services which we offer to the students beyond visa. We've maintained very healthy 95% student satisfaction ratio. That is probably the reason why we have got a lot of good followers and feedbacks, which you can see onto our social media channels. We also organize or participate in the local or international events, which you can see. So we are very active in the industry to be engaged with the students, faculties, foreign universities, and industry speakers, as you can see today as well. So our counselors are continuously traveling abroad. I travel abroad. So we meet a lot of students. So it's not only just the journey ends when you go there. We also come and see and take your feedbacks right on your campus. These are some of the success stories which you can go onto the YouTube channel, or you can visit our website, whereby the students have successfully got a dream job into their dream destination, like Akshay in Dell Technologies, soon after completing his MBA from Ireland. And well, about me, I've counseled 1,000 plus students so far, traveled to 14 plus countries and still counting, just barring this 1 year. And I've been trained by world's best universities through their workshops, training centers. I've been certified counselor by ISF WebA. I'm also the ex-president of BNI Plus chapter, which is the world's largest networking body. So that's about the organization, and let's quickly jump onto the today's conversation, whereby we are going to talk about data science. And we have received a lot of inquiries in the past to talk and conduct this special program, and that's the reason why we wanted to start this year with this very happening topic, whereby most of the students would want to know more about it. And if you, as we go through, if you have got any questions or comments, please do write into your comment box across the channels where you are watching this program, and we'll be more than happy to take those questions as we go further. So without due diligence, let me quickly introduce our today's speakers of the program, and let me invite them into the room. Our first speaker, Ms. Farheen Maiman. Hello, Farheen.
Hello, Aslam. I hope everything is well with you.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for your
Thank,
time for joining us.
thank you so much for having us today. I look forward to connecting with students to share more about data science.
Absolutely, Fareen. So let me quickly introduce Fareen. Fareen Maiman, she is the regional manager South Asia for University of North Texas, one of the very famous universities of US. Fareen has got substantial experience in overseas education. She's an asset in connecting with students for higher education who are planning to go abroad. She is responsible for India market and offer personalized service to students admission until enrollment support. So thank you, Farin, for joining us, and I'll come back
Of
to you soon.
course. Sure.
Let me quickly move to our next speaker, Mr. Venkatesh Iyengar. Hello,
Hello.
Venkatesh.
Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Aslam. Yeah.
Thank you, Venkatesh, for your time. And let me quickly introduce our audience to you. Venkatesh is the founder and CEO of Tattva Swami Incorporation. Venkatesh has worked with many reputed organizations in the past, namely Coca-Cola, Airtel, Vodafone, Samsung, and World in key strategic roles. Venkatesh is a regular speaker in various forums, and I have been one of the audiences of his speech related to, of course, his very favorite topic of data science for various management. He also speaks at various management institutes across India. Tathaswami, the organization which Venkatesh runs, is an agile data analytics, strategic management, consulting organization. The company offers services in gap analysis, data consulting, data audit, Zoho analytics research training, and workshops. Thank you, Venkatesh, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Aslam. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. It's Tatma Masi, actually, so but that's fine. Yeah, absolutely in awe when you talk about students because that's one of the passions which I work with. I like to talk to students, interact with students. We
Right.
do a lot of things with students, so looking forward for an interesting interaction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So let's start our program, and friends, let's start with Venkatesh with our first question. So I've got selected these five questions. These are the mostly the questions which the students usually ask us, and we believe that that would represent your queries very well. But if still, if you have any questions which you think they would like to ask, be quick because we want to be very crisp in our program as we always try to do it. So within 30 to 40 minutes, if you have any question, do write to us. So let's go ahead with our program, and let's invite Venkatesh to ask a very basic question. And Venkatesh, when I think basic, because most of the students, they are watching, listening to us live, or they would be watching us later on a recorded version, or the parents, of course, they are usually we found is confused between data science, computer science, AI programs, because for them it looks more of a similar programs. Wherein in foreign universities, usually we have got each program representing a bachelor degree. So we have got a full-fledged specialization dedicated for this course. However, from industry point of view and from the working point of view, uh, if you can tell us what is data science and what's the data science role in the today's or future coming organization.
Yes, so I think this is the most important difference and a clarity which every person would require, and I'm more than willing to share. So I have spent 20 years working in large multinational organizations, and it's important for us to understand. So, data science is typically a field which comprises everything to do with data. When I say data means if you are working in an organization and you're working in a sales function, so there is something to do in sales, which is number of people, number of products, and how many sales happen. Suppose you are in an organization working in a finance sector or a finance vertical where balance sheets, sales reporting, or you're working in a manufacturing company where you're doing a production as an engineer, so number of pieces produced, what is the ratio of error, how many error pieces, what are the waste products. You go to an insurance sector, how many people have purchased insurance policies. So anything and everything which is basically a matrice or a quantity which you need to report to understand is data. More
Right.
importantly is data is all about not only the data, but what is the information you get out of it. So let me give you a very simple story and you will never forget this, okay? I am a patient, okay? Today I am having a cough and cold. So what happens is I go to the doctor, right? And what is the first thing the doctor asks you? What is happening? So I tell him, I am having a cough and cold. So the doctor says, okay, what happened? What did you do? This is a very logical question. So you tell the doctor, I was actually traveling to Moscow and it was raining and I had a little bit of cold wine or something and I got cold. The third thing what doctor does is bases the understanding of his learnings and experience and your symptoms. He says, don't worry, you don't have COVID, you just have a cold. And he says, 4 days you take rest, you'll be fine. But you say, no, 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 I have to go back to India tomorrow. So he says, okay, I'll prescribe you an antibiotic, you can go to India tomorrow. Okay, it's a very simple thing. Now, what is happening here is first thing, the doctor is asking you what is happening. So data science is all about knowing what is happening. It
Hmm.
could be for doctor, it could be for a home, it could be for business. Second is why it is happening. You ask why the business didn't go well, why the business didn't go good, or something like that. So that is second thing. The third thing is okay, if the business is going the way it is going, what is the outcome for it? That is the third thing which you analyze. And the fourth thing is I want to change the way the business happens, so I will do the fourth thing which I prescribe. Now, data science does all of this. It is basically related to identifying data of what is happening in your business or your home, doctor function, cleaning the data in a way where the doctor understands, like how the doctor understands what you say,
Right.
representing it properly, and then trying to use it for a forecasting and thereby for a outcome.
Wow.
Now, everything to do with data,
Hmm.
cleaning, processing, using it, filtering it is all aspects of data science.
Wow, thank you very much, Venkatesh, for so nicely and so simply putting up the understanding of data science, and really appreciate that explanation. Thank you very much, and then I'll come back to you soon for the next question.
Definitely.
So, friends, we understood from Venkatesh that how the data science works, and he's very nicely explained us that it is applicable to almost any industry, right? Wherever you're talking about collecting and asking and processing the information which any organization would read from a customer or from its vendor. So let's move and let's take this conversation further, and let's go to our next speaker, Farheen from UNT US. Farheen, now since we have got a little bit of understanding of what is data science is, would you like to share with us the details about if I, as a student, would want to do this course at university? So, what do I learn actually? Because again, we talk about a lot of things at this level, but we need to come down to the very basic level that what do I supposed to learn within this particular degree?
Absolutely. So Venkatesh was explaining it in a form that was very explanatory to the students. So I'll take it more further from there and explain to you all as to what exactly the course is going to offer you. So now data is a lot. We live in data, and data is the new gold, it says. With all the automation that we have seen right now, a lot of data has been deposited already, which Venkatesh was referring to. So data science program that we offer at the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral levels in various programs at University of North Texas, it focuses mostly on analysis of the data. It focuses on the mining of data. It focuses on text analysis. It focuses on these aspects of data which the students can use to model it, to utilize it in a computational way. And we also have multiple labs for students, so they just don't do it theoretically, but they actually practice it using our labs, our research facilities. Being a tier 1 research university, we offer plenty of labs like data innovation lab, visual thinking lab. These help the organizations as well for their systems through these strategic alliances that they use through multiple tools and technologies over 2 or 4 years of their duration of studies with UNT.
So the subject point of view for him, would they still be studying the computer science related programs, or there are data specific programs which they will be studying?
So everything is computer about computers here. What we are talking here about data science is a field in computers. So there is no way that the student is going to skip learning computer science. But yes, data science focuses more on basic two languages, which are R and Python. And I'm sure a lot of students would be familiar with this over time when they complete their undergraduate studies in engineering here in India. But again, data science is a field in computer science, so they do learn everything about computers and IT, along with major courses in modeling, in computation, in analysis, in big data visualization, these kinds of subjects.
Right. So these programs are available for both with the bachelor's at the master's level for the
Yes, we
student.
offer a bachelor's of data science, we offer a master's of data science, and also a doctoral level, and multiple other courses also which have data science concentrations at the University of North Texas.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fareen. That was really crisp and to the point, and I'm sure the students are now getting hang of what does the data science degree looks like. So I'll come back to you for the next question. Let's move to our first speaker, Venkatesh again. Venkatesh, now we understood that what the student is going to study when he enroll himself at the university level. Very many times students are contemplating, or parents would want to know that what are the career prospects, and when the outcome is very clear, then it becomes very easy for them to take a call. So as an industry expert from this particular field, what is your outlook towards students who are completing a full-fledged program at the bachelor master's level? What kind of career prospects for them are available in the industry? And I'll just quote some of the reports which I have got with me. Like recently Flipkart mentioned that they are looking for 700 data scientists at their level to work with. So that's a huge number, and from one organization coming and asking for a very specific fields of engineers. And similarly, I had the data whereby it's saying that it is going to go 8 times higher than the current recruitment which is happening in India as far as data scientists go. So, what's your take from the career point of view?
Yeah, so I completely agree with most of the reports. So it's a very simple, logical way of doing things. If you remember when there was industrialization where a lot of machines started playing, we started using machines, cars, and all. Huge amount of factories came up, and when the factories came up, they wanted a lot of people who would want to be workers in the factories, right? You remember 20 years ago, there was an industrial revolution. There was a lot of people who were supposed to be IITs, mechanical engineers, electronic engineers who were in demand. Now, what is happening is, and especially with the post-COVID scenario, a lot of people are using computer for communication, working. So a lot of data is being generated. Like you mean to say, even if you go back, everybody must have seen your Facebook yearbook, right? They came up with something known as a yearbook.
Right.
Have you ever seen how much of data have you already put on your own page? See the
True.
amount of data you have put on your page right from 1st Jan 2020 to 31st Jan 2020 is humongous. You write a tweet, you put a comment, you like, you put a photo. So the data generation is so enormous. There has to be someone who has to start looking at the data, cleaning it, making sense of it, creating insights of it. Now, one person's Facebook yearbook itself is some 100, 200, or 2 GB or 5 GB, whatever. So many people use it. So it's like a similar industrial revolution. So much of data, so you need so much of data scientists to help to clean the data. So that's number one. So I completely agree. There is going to be a large amount of data generated. The second important factor is because there is the internet speeds have doubled and increased. 5G in the picture, and most of the world's economy is working on 5G. So the speeds in which the data will come also will be higher. So that will also create more data. Hence, it is a very, very interesting phase in business where the it's known as the fourth industrial revolution actually now. After the industrial revolution of industry, it's the fourth industrial revolution, which is of data, AI, ML, and whatever. Now, having said that, one of the coveted posts which people say is the data scientist role. A data scientist is a person who needs to definitely know how to see data. For that, he needs to understand computer programming because very important, right? If I have to understand what I make sense of someone writing recommendation of Amazon or something, I need to understand why is he writing. So I need to understand computer language. That is one important aspect he needs to learn, and which is what all these universities teach. This is the all the programming what he mentioned about R, Python, and there are many more like that. The second aspect is because he has so much of data, and in a typical school, when we learned English and mathematics and statistics, a simple mean, like हम कभी भी average निकालते हैं कोई चीज का. So there is something known as mean. So what is mean? It is an average of all the things. And there are many statistical tools. So you need to learn or understand mathematics and statistics. So that's the second important thing what a student should know if he has to become a data scientist.
So you mean to say that when he starts a job, like what would be his role? I mean, student ask us that what would be the role, that title, designation, profile would be for them?
Yeah, there are 7 different types of profiles which industry normally uses today. So I'll come to that. So the first is the data scientist. People normally say like how you spoke about Flipkart talking about 700 data scientists. So I'm just coming to you one by one on that. So that is the second important area which he has to know. That is mathematics and statistics as basic understanding, computer language to write something so that he can fetch data. And the third is the business, which industry is he. If you are a data scientist in an e-commerce industry, you need to know how the industry works. So there is a little bit of an industry. These are the 3 key things what a role of a data scientist is supposed to be. And this is the highest in the pyramid of the highest level. The highest position is the data scientist. A lot of companies today offer an associate data scientist role or a senior data scientist, whatever. Now, coming down, the next role would be a MIS role or management information system role, where the customer or where the student gets to know all these things and he just starts reporting how to report data, how to show that in a presentation or a dashboard. So that could be another role where a student would probably land up in if he's very good in the visualization perspective. Then there is something known as a data analyst role. So the data analyst role is a person, is a subset of the data scientist. What he does is he starts to analyze a particular problem. Like if I am a data analyst, I would probably analyze between the doctor's history. How many type of people came and asked him that I have cold, and what was the answers the doctor gave, and what was the prescription he gave, and I will create an analyst outcome saying that anybody who speaks about having cold, we should give him an antibiotic. So that is what an analyst role is. So he analyzes the data and comes up with a solution which is a part of the whole thing.
Right.
And there could be someone like a data engineer or probably a machine learning engineer. Now, what is an engineer? Engineer is basically who starts to create something new. Correct. So what does a data engineer do? Now, I gave a very simple example of one doctor and one patient. Imagine I'm talking about Amazon, which has got 300,000 people logging in every day, asking for products, buying products, taking products. Now, for so much of people, so much of data, I cannot do a single one-on-one activity. So I have to create some program in such a way I can get all those things automatically done. So that is where a data engineer basically tries to clean the data of so large data sets. Big data is all about lots of data.
Lots
It
of
is so small companies don't say small data because it doesn't look nice. So data is data.
data.
Amazon has a lot of customers, so a lot of data, hence it's big data. Now, a very simple program. If I'm supposed to analyze a doctor-patient issue, if I have only 100 patients, I can do it in Excel. Very
Hmm.
simple. I can use a Microsoft Excel or a spreadsheet and do it. But if I'm running, say, chain of hospital like a Hiranandani hospital or a Fortis hospital, I cannot do that in Excel. So I need to use a database where I will store all customer data, patient data. Because I'm using a database, I need to know how to use that locker and key. Because if I use a safe in a bank, I need to have a lock key, right? But if I
Right.
use a safe at home, it's very easy to open. So I need to learn how to do it. So I have to write an SQL query. Hence, there is a
Hmm.
language like an SQL. You need to learn how to use data. So you need to learn that database languages. But if I have to analyze further, then obviously in an Excel, it becomes easier because there are functions there. But
Right.
lot of data, if I have to analyze, then I have to use some language. So these are the different levels of scalability which helps.
Right.
So it, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Venkatesh. So, friends, I have mentioned those roles, what Venkatesh had mentioned, just for your reference purpose in the comments box. So, a lot of things to learn from the from Venkatesh, and thank you, Venkatesh. It's a good learning for me also to further, dissect this particular field and look at it very differently, the way you have showed us in a so simple manner. Thank you very much. And on this point, let me also invite Fareen in the room. And Fareen, now since we have moved further and got a little bit more learning about how the roles would look like after graduation, we would like to know more about your university. Like students are looking for US as the education center when it comes to IT and technology. Where does UNT stands, and why should student look at UNT vis-a-vis other universities which are there?
So your question definitely is very good. There are so many universities across the US, and it happens to be the hub for IT and data world now. Definitely, So we located University of North Texas is located in Dallas Fort Worth area, which happens to be the largest data center, and I'm sure Venkatesh will agree to this. We are located in Dallas Fort Worth area, and we're located in Denton City. So about University of North Texas, we're actually a very huge university. We offer various programs as to what Venkatesh was saying. So we just don't offer data science in for each of these levels that Venkatesh just spoke about. We offer information systems, we offer information science, we offer business analytics, we offer data analytics programs, and we offer data engineering, artificial intelligence. So we offer plenty of programs for students. Obviously, the evergreen program remains computer science for them, but all of these programs are also offered. And University of North Texas is very well ranked. We are a tier 1 research university in the state of Texas by Carnegie classification, which makes this top 3% in the entire United States. And well, coming to rankings as well, since that would be something that some students would also be interested in. So we are top 250 as per US News and World Report. That's the major report that anyone would look at. We are top 249, and we are climbing rankings each year. Last year probably we were in top 300. And in addition to that, University of North Texas is very diverse. We are one of the largest universities in Dallas Fort Worth area. Just recently, now after the beginning of our spring 2021 session, we have crossed more than 1,000 Indian students on our campus as well. So it's a very huge university with multiple programs, multiple majors for students. And coming to also something that's going to be of interest to data science students is that we are actually funded by Net-Centric Software and Systems Center, along with few other universities where they can actually get more practical exposure. As the state of Texas, probably I would say that Texas is huge in its technology industry. It's very broad. There are many companies. Big data market is definitely heating across the globe, but Texas has become the epicenter with a lot of Silicon Valley companies moving to Dallas Fort Worth area. Very recently, we have Toyota moved already to DFW, and now Oracle has confirmed of moving. So I'm sure once the students graduate with the degrees at UNT, they would have plenty of opportunities in DFW and Texas area for them.
Wow, so much of information, packed answer. Thank you very much, Farin. And I'm sure the students are very excited to know more about the state and about the university. I had my opportunity last year, visiting Texas and visiting your university as well.
Yes,
So I couldn't see much because of a lack of time, but whatever I could see, because we had to take the vehicle to move around the university, such a huge university with the vehicle support and with the 1 hour of spend, and still you just see a few centers and that's it. So
correct.
I was really impressed with the facilities which were there for the students to offer. In fact, the health center is so huge. I mean, there were around more than 200 trade mills, line by
Yes,
line.
our
So
recreational center is very, very popular in the US.
absolutely. So it's good that for the students, that's something which is for you to look at the university. And as rightly said, in fact, when I spent some time to understand the how the economy is operating in the US, you see that a lot of companies, as you rightly said, Farin, are moving from the expensive states to this Texas, and especially the California-based tech companies are started moving out the way it is happening in Mumbai. And many companies have moved from South Mumbai to BKC or to other centers. So same way
Correct.
it's happening in the US because of the high taxes in those states. So Amazon, I think, is also one of the big companies who have recently moved into Texas. So
Dell,
that,
Microsoft, definitely Apple, many more such companies are around in DFW.
right. So that gives a good opportunity for you to interact with the potential employers for tomorrow, if you're looking for a career in that particular state. Thank you, Farin, for this piece of information, very valuable. Let's move to Venkatesh again, and then let's talk about Venkatesh. Very interestingly, here we are talking about full-fledged bachelor's and master's program in various specializations. But as an organization, you also helping the students at a basic level to understand the data science through
That's
your
right.
short-term program. And students, if you're listening, it could be a good idea for you to just explore this particular platform, which Venkatesh is going to explain, and maybe it would give you a good highlight and information before you jump into full-fledged program later on. So, Venkatesh, would you like to talk about your program which you're offering to students?
Yeah, sure. So I think what we try and do, as a business, we work with, we are a consulting organization, and because data science is very new in India, we got into training as one of the support for a lot of people in terms of awareness, in terms of implementation and all. So we do a lot of courses. We've been like working out a course for students, and we have already done that. I've been a faculty to JPIMS. I've been a faculty at SIS College. I've done a couple of 2-day, 3-day workshops for them for the management students. I've been a visiting faculty in almost most of the places in the last 2.5 years. What we do is we have a course known as Certificate in Data Analytics. Very simply put, it's a 7-day, 2-hour each program, which is starting from Feb 5th. What we do in this program, very simple, is we just first talk about what is a data scientist, what is the role of a data scientist, and this is focused on students. Typically, students who want to wish to go up the chain to learn more data science as a product, or get a career done in data science or data as a industry. Then we talk about, we help them to understand mathematics, statistics, which everybody knows they've forgotten during the school time. And typically, the 8th, 9th, 10th level mathematics, statistics play a big role in the data science as a subject. So we help them brush up the mean, median, mode, hypothesis, standard deviation, and all, which gives them an understanding about why it is important for business and especially data science. Then we talk something about a data science process. So to every company, regardless of Amazon or Flipkart or anybody, works on a process of how data science works. So we speak about the data science process. Then we do a little bit of visualization. So that is one of the key things where every data science person has to understand. So do a
Right.
visualization, which is exploratory data analytics and visualization. We also talk then from a case study aspect, and we do a lot of case studies with the students on how a data analyst has to be. We give some case studies, either use Harvard case studies or we have our own case studies. I have published a couple of case studies, couple of things coming up on some college journals. So I use those case studies to help them to understand, okay, where is the role of that person, And these are real life case studies. Then we talk about matrices, understanding why matrices are important. And one of the most important thing is everybody gets confused between computer vision, artificial intelligence, machine language, neuro linguistic program. So we try and create one very simple, unique 2 3 slider where we explain to them what is what, so that a person's interest is very clearly captured and he starts focusing on what he wants to do. So that's what we do, which is known as supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Then we get into a little bit of actual modeling. We use some logarithmic regressions. We work on regression. We work on decision trees. We do something known as random forest and market basket analysis. So a very simple example of market basket is whenever you go to a supermarket, you would probably see a particular five-star wrapped up with a Maggie, and they say ki if you buy both as a bunch together, you get a 20% discount. So there is nothing which is not scientific about it. It is a simple a priori algorithm which is used, and it is known as market basket analysis. So we actually do a small case on that and how that market basket is done. So it is useful for companies like that. There
Yeah.
earlier we used to think that it was an expiry easily as they used to sell, but when we got into the system, it is actually a scientific process which is known as which is a priori algorithm which is being used, and it's known as a market basket analysis. So that's
Okay.
what we try and help people. And then we talk about then we do a little bit of Python. We start helping them understanding what is Python, how to install it, how to use it, some libraries in Python which are very important like Panda and all. And we help them to just do some assignment so that they get to
Hmm.
know how it works. And that's a very elaborate, concise, focused program which gives them an understanding of where do we have, what is the next step. And most
Right.
importantly, it's like a finishing school. Most of the MBA students or a BTech students, they all want it, but when they go to the interviews, even in postgraduate studies during the college abroad or for job, the interviews becomes very tough for them. So this basically gives them a platform. They know what they are talking, and they are not just trying to abuse an AI or an ML in this world. So that's what
Absolutely.
we do as a process, and this is purely as an awareness. We started, we just priced it as simple as $2,200 for 8 9 sessions, and we are all live sessions. We don't do any recorded sessions. I've seen a lot of recorded sessions, so we do live, so that actually bonds people. Yeah.
I think, friends, that's a great opportunity for you if you are still confused and you want to be get cleared before you commit onto a full-fledged program. And university definitely would want to see your passion, your interest behind the program. And if you want to test it out, I think that's the best platform what Venkatesh and his organization is offering. So
So you can
look
go to
into it.
our site. I can just send you the link. Maybe we can just flash it the link on the chat. They can
Yeah, you
just go
can
to the program
exactly.
and
Absolutely. So, friends, I'll share this link with you. So, if you would like to explore this option, more than welcome. Just go and explore this. And this 7 days of session would set you on your expectation right in order to move on to the university for more serious commitment for a bachelor's or a master program. Thank you, Venkatesh, for such a insightful conversation. Okay, let's move to Farid. Farid, after knowing your very interesting facts of the university, Texas, and the place where you're located, if I would like to go further out, so my natural question comes that does your university offer any scholarship, or do I get any chance to minimize my fees? What's the fees and what's the eligibility criteria for bachelor's and master's? If you can quickly take us through, please.
Absolutely, yes, that's a very important question, and I would like to share some information and insights about how a student can qualify for scholarships. Now, coming to firstly, I'll start with the fee structure that can help you understand what kind of scholarships can come to you all, come to the students. So, we being a state university, our fee structure is very affordable. At the undergraduate level, we have the fee structure which is about $21,500, and at the graduate level, we have about $16,000 per annum annum is the tuition cost for the student. Living cost definitely is something that you have to take care of as well, which is about $7,000 to $12,000 living on campus or off campus in the university. These costs that I just mentioned are annual costs. Coming to scholarship opportunities, we being a state university, definitely a lot of our scholarships funding come through the Texas government, the federal government. So, University of North Texas offers many scholarships across multiple programs that we just discussed at the undergraduate and master's level. One of the major important scholarships that we would like to talk here about is the Competitive Excellence Scholarships, which not only awards the students $1,000 of scholarship, but also reduces the tuition costs to about 50%, giving them the domestic fee benefits, which is called
Wow.
as the out of state tuition. Out of state tuition waiver, which we call. So this is something which is very much of interest to the student. And though they are very competitive, we have had plenty of students who are awarded. International students are awarded, and a lot of Indian students were definitely awarded as well. Now, the eligibility criteria for our admissions, I would say here, is that at the undergraduate level, SAT or ACT is something that we're not looking at. It's an optional test. If you have time, if you want to write it, please go ahead and do that. It's going to help you for your scholarships as well. But if you do not want to write it, it's completely fine, because we only look at your GPA for the last four classes, for the last four grades, and your English proficiency test. Now, Aslam has just described about IELTS to you very briefly. There are plenty of other English proficiency tests as well, and either of it will work out for us. At the master's level, however, we need plenty of documents from the students. We obviously need to understand. So we were talking about Venkatesh's course, which is going to help students understand their passion. And now, since we talk to a lot of students, and you must be definitely doing that as well, Aslam, they are confused because they hear from so many people what's really, what should they do, and not something that they want to do. So they end up probably most of the times they end up in a wrong program. So we want to understand why they are choosing this particular program through a statement of purpose, or what we call as a statement of intent. Then we have letters of recommendation. Then we have their mark sheets, transcripts, English proficiency tests again, and a letter and their CV as well, which describes their work experience of projects in detail that they do usually. In addition to that, in the US universities, there is also a requirement of GRE or GMAT, depending on whether you're going for an engineering based course or a math based course, or you're going for a business level program. We accept GRE or GMAT both for various programs that we offer. For fall 2021, definitely most of our programs have a GRE waived off for students, considering the wake of the pandemic that we're right now into. So we definitely have a few programs where GRE is waived off. This entirely sums up the eligibility criteria. GPAs and GREs and IELTS is something that we really look into assessing a student for eligibility into the program.
Thank you very much, Farheen. I tried my best, and not being that expert in computers, but whatever I can type, as the Farheen saying, so just is there in the comment box for you guys. If you definitely need more information, you can contact us, and then our counselor will clarify you. And now we understand that what it takes, and it's not that difficult. And most of the universities, rightly said by Farheen, requires SAT. And thankfully, UNT is exempting you from SAT and also awarding you up to 50% scholarship based on your profile and marks. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And going into in-state fees, that's what the local pays, is an awesome opportunity for you to look at UNT as very strong option for you to choose. Thank you, Farin. And let's move to our last session, wherein we usually ask our industry experts that what's their view of hiring students who have experience in abroad, or who have got a graduation or post graduation in abroad and have spent some years. So, Venkatesh, how does it look like? Because a lot of time, again, this is a question student asks that, okay, sir, we are going abroad, we are doing this great university course, etc. But what is going to happen if at all I wish to come back to India? How the industry would look at me? And we always say, yes, your international exposure would help you, your understanding different culture interaction, advanced technology, etc. but knowing from you as an industry expert would make a lot of more sense. So can you please quickly tell us industry outlook?
So I think when it comes to data science, one of the things we should know is the entire data as a philosophy or the science, the analytics has evolved from the West. So obviously you are in a better position to learn new technologies, new modeling environments when you work or study exactly, in the west part of India, west part of the world. So definitely you are in a much sought out situation. So apart, definitely the culture plays a big role. So if today all the Indian companies and typically the MSMEs, which I am very closely working with, which contributes to almost 60% of India's workforce and employment, they are all trying to, you know, prioritize their business, digitalize their business, grow and evolve, and build a data-driven organization. And
Hmm.
people who study abroad, especially in the area of data science, they are the best candidates for them. Why? Because one, they know different cultures, so they are absolutely very sane and focused in terms of managing different cultural environments in India. Second, they come up with a better degree of technology exposure. It's like they already work on a 5G handset and they know more things about applications of 5G when they come to India when the 5G gets launched. So obviously they are more accepted here, and definitely in this field for sure, I can say that they would be the most sought out people because
Wow.
data science is the most sort of thing in India. It is just evolving, and from the West, you're like welcomed here for sure.
Very nice. So that's really very encouraging to hear from the industry what industry has to say about your proposed exposure, which you are expected to get it out of the university's experience and your education. So thank you, Venkatesh, for that. And you add a very important point, which I just want to restate here. Those entrepreneurs who are watching us, it's also a very great opportunity as you would be aspirational to take your company to the next level as an MSME or SME to the next level. And this is where these young kids who studied from the well developed nation and from a great university like UNT could really add the value to your whole aspiration by bringing that technology know how at your organization. Thank you, Venkatesh. That was really vital point which you mentioned. Let's move to Farin. Farin, so now I'm full set to come to US and explore this option. How's the situation looks like? So US has just got over, and we were talking about the election mania that which has just got over, and
Right.
US seems to be getting over from COVID as well. So how the situation looks like? Am I safe? Parents would definitely would be wanting to know more about the present situation.
Correct. So that's actually very important as well for people to know about it. Now that elections are passed, and we will see some good things coming out of it for sure. It's really important for the people to know that fall 2021 definitely we it looks like that things will go back to normal because we already have vaccines, and UNT is also one of the center for vaccination. So we're definitely having a lot of students. We'll definitely have a lot of students get vaccinated by the time fall 2021 intake comes, which is the August session, and hopefully things will go back to normal. We will have all of our classes in person like we were having in the past before 2020 came up for us with such challenges where we actually abruptly have to move to multiple classes which were taught online, and eventually we learned and developed with such industrial experts as well, where we actually are now doing very well online. Currently I would say spring 2021 and even summer 2021 will have a lot of programs for these students to learn online. We have a hybrid program that we are offering at the moment currently, which involves them to learn on campus and online both together, considering that we are still not we are still living with the virus and it's not behind us. But fall 2021 certainly looks to be brighter, and we will have most of the things back on campus for the students.
Right. So here comes the good news, and you have got different models which are available, whether from online to hybrid, and that at least should give us some good reasons why we can start looking up for the university options and start making an application if you have already confirmed that you wanted to go abroad for this year. Thank you, Farin, and thank you, Amit Kumar, for your nice comment and watching us from LinkedIn. Farin, just quickly before I move to Venkatesh for the last question, we have got one question from Alvin asking for. The GRE score can offer the scholarship up to 50%. What's the
So,
answer for
correct. That's a very good question. So, all when we look at the overall profile, when I say so, good GPA definitely matters, but a GRE score above 310, 315 is going to enhance your chances of getting that scholarship. It is competitive. So, one of the only advices that I will have for you is to put in your application as soon as you can, and also work on your statement of purposes. Don't copy statement of purposes. So, I'm sure Aslam would agree to this, that you have to kind of sit down and explain it to the student. Okay, this is about you. I am not going to write it. This is about you, so put in some effort and write it down. So because that's what we will see when I don't know you, and neither the professors know you. They're only
right?
going to read for SOP. So please make sure it reflects you. And then we also have your grades, your CV, your LORs that are going to speak about you, and that's how we will give you a scholarship on your overall profile.
Thank you for it. So, friends, we are just running out of the time. We need to quickly wrap it up. So, we had a good discussion. Thank you very much. And let me come back to the very last. We call it as a diamond or golden or whatever you call is a question. And because you usually do not get hold of these extremely eminent, talented, expert speakers, otherwise available so easily. So, since they are here, let me ask them a very important question. And Venkatesh, here the question comes to you: that what's your one line success advice, being a successful entrepreneur, to our students who are listening to you?
I think it is very graceful of you to say that we are still. I am also in the process of growing, but one of the most important things I have always learned in my life, and I would want to only say share that कुछ भी नहीं आता है तो चलेगा लेकिन सीखने को आना चाहिए. You know, I think that is the one of the only thing which I lived my life with. I started my career. I always believe in one thing: learning never stops. If you are in a process or you have that mindset to learn, and it could be anything, business, education, apprenticeship, events, anything, but learning, if you have that feeling or the attitude of learning, I think that is the only mantra today in this world, because the world is changing so rapidly. You never know tomorrow. When I'm talking about today, I'm talking about Python. I probably would talk about something else tomorrow. But the only reason I can talk about it tomorrow is because I have that attitude to learn, attitude to develop and learn. So I think one of the important thing is कुछ भी नहीं आता है चलेगा, सीखने को आना चाहिए, and I think please use that. And the second
Absolutely.
important thing which I always lived and which found a lot of people find it very hilarious, but I think it's very intense is if it is there in your mind, it has to be in your hand. If you
Hmm.
think doing something, you better execute it and get it done for yourself. I think these are the two key things I live by, and I would want, and it works as simple as that. I
Right.
come from
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Absolutely. Definitely
learning
works.
never stops, and if it you have decide what you want to do, then you'll never be afraid of it again.
Taking. So great. So that's a good learning. It's a very, golden words coming out from the successful entrepreneur, that keep on learning and keep on executing whatever is there in your mind. Thank you, Venkatesh, for this very
Thank you
informative
so much
session.
for your time. Yeah.
Pauline, what's your one line success advice to our students?
So I will say for students basically, because Venkatesh has spoken about overall generally about life. So now I'll also tell you, now since the world is changing rapidly, we definitely want to look up to our seniors for their advice. But then there are better people in the industry that are going to tell you, okay, what's going to be the next thing? Because today we are into something, tomorrow we will not be in the same place. We've already evolved, we've changed. Probably 10 years back, if I and Venkatesh were having this conversation with Aslam, we would not be talking about this. Probably we were talking about networking, because that was the way things were working. So keep looking at your seniors, for that advice, but then as well you look at other things, what's really happening in the world, what is going to come next, and that's where a lot of your advising and faculties would come in picture, and even people like Aslam, who has been a very important asset in talking to a lot of students through multiple such talks. And you definitely have represented BNI as well for a very very long time, and I have seen how things have changed. Eventually you have been talking to a lot of people about higher education abroad as well. So that is one. And secondly, I would say is, um, start early. When you've decided something, even execution needs time and planning. So do take time and plan it well, so that you're not running out of time when you're doing things for yourself.
Absolutely. So Fareen says that keep on looking for what's coming new and always be connected with the people who can help you to look at the future. And that's something which is very awesome to learn from Fareen. Thank you, Fareen, for this peaceful information. And so, friends, just to quickly give you some more data. So, US leads the data science market, and as the report is there in front of me, it's saying that they still requires 190,000 people, 190,000 people, in this particular field in next 4 to 5 years. So if the US, like a fatherly figure in this industry, is still looking for the people, and you can imagine what kind of opportunity this entire world is going to present, as Venkatesh rightly said, that it touches almost every and any industry, very rightfully. Also, I've got very important information to share that the data analytics jobs which are at the moment vacant, which still have not been fulfilled because we do not have right people available for this particular job, is reported by Times of India is 97,000, and that's a sharp rise of 45% as compared to last 3 years. So these all progressive figures tells you that there is a huge opportunity. Only thing is that how good you try to be at learning. And as you rightly said, that कुछ नहीं आता है तो सीखने को आना चाहिए. Thank you, Venkatesh, and thank you for this very mindful conversation. And I would like to thank all our audience who are watching us or who will be watching us later on when the recording is available. With this, I would like to say that we had a wonderful session on trending courses in data science. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this show. If you still have any query, you have got the telephone number in front of your screen, 9987099890, or you can contact us through our website, www.alif.in, and our counselor will be more than happy to help you instantly. My name is Aslam Sheikh, founder and CEO of Alif, saying goodbye for now, and with a promise to come back again next Friday, sharp 5 p.m., with another interesting topic and with some amazingly talented speakers to enlighten you on the topic which is important to you and for your career. Until then, take care of yourself, stay safe, and stay excited.
Thank you so much.